Picture this. The internet wakes up one morning to whispers of something no one saw coming. A video. Not just any video, but a leaked clip that has the entire hip-hop community buzzing. King Von, the Chicago legend whose name still echoes. In the streets and Asian Doll, the fiery queen of drill rap and controversy suddenly trending together again. But this time, it's not about a diss track, not about an interview, and not even about music. It's about an escape. Not a vacation everyone knew about, not a public stunt for clout, but something private, something hidden, something that was never meant to see the light of day. The clip is being called The Island Escape by fans online. Grainy footage, shaky camera angles, laughter echoing over crashing waves. And the question on everyone's mind, how did this get out? Who filmed it? And most importantly, what does it reveal about King Von and Asian Doll's story? A story already filled with love, loss, and legend. The internet thrives on mystery, and when it comes to hip-hop's most talked about pair, curiosity multiplies. People are asking, was this a real getaway, hidden away from the spotlight, or is there more to it? Did they plan this, or is it truly a raw, unfiltered glimpse into a side of Von and Doll the world wasn't supposed to see? Every second of that leaked footage feels heavy, like a secret unfolding in real time. The waves crashing in the background almost sound like whispers from the past. A reminder that King Von's story didn't end the way fans hoped. Yet, here's this video, resurfacing emotions, raising questions, and keeping his legacy alive in the most unexpected way. And that's why this isn't just another leak. This is a cultural moment. It's fans reliving the connection between two people who defined a chapter in drill history. It's the tension between public life and private truth. And it's the shock of seeing something that was never supposed to be shared. Stay locked in, because as we break this down, you'll see why this leak is bigger than gossip. It's about legacy, love, and the power of moments caught when the cameras weren't supposed to be rolling. The internet has a way of turning small sparks into raging wildfires. And that's exactly what happened the moment a mysterious clip, dubbed by fans as The Island's Escape, made its way online. At first, it was a quiet whisper on niche fan pages. A grainy 30-second video showing waves, laughter, and two familiar faces. But in less than an hour, it spread like wildfire. Twitter exploded. TikTok edits went viral. Instagram Reels flooded timelines. And everywhere, the same question echoed. Is that really King Von and Asian Doll? For many, it wasn't even a question. The silhouettes, the laughter, the unmistakable energy between the two. It could only be them. And in that instant, a storm of nostalgia, curiosity, and controversy erupted across the hip-hop world. But to truly understand why this leak caused such a frenzy, we need to rewind the clock and remind ourselves of who these two really were, both as individuals and as a pair. King Von was never just another rapper chasing fame. He was the heart of O-Block, the living embodiment of Chicago's drill movement. Every line he rapped came with lived experience, every story delivered with chilling authenticity. To his fans, Von wasn't a character, he was real. He was the guy who turned pain into poetry, who carried his block's reputation with him every time he stepped into the booth. His music wasn't polished for the charts, it was carved straight out of his life. And that's what made him unforgettable. Asian Doll, on the other hand, was fire and ice at the same time. A woman who refused to be boxed in, she carried herself with boldness and grit. In an industry often hostile toward women in drill and trap, she held her ground fiercely. Whether it was her lyrics, her fashion, or her attitude, she demanded attention. And when it came to her relationship with Von, the world noticed. Their connection wasn't simple. It was messy, public, sometimes controversial, but always magnetic. Fans saw them as a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, two forces of nature drawn to each other despite the chaos around them. And even after Vaughn's tragic passing, Asian Doll kept his name alive in interviews, posts, and tributes. Their story had always felt unfinished, a puzzle with missing pieces. And then came this footage, the so-called island escape, a leaked video with no clear source, no verified context, and no explanation. Just waves crashing, Vaughn's smile glowing under the sun, and Asian Doll's carefree laughter cutting through the sound of wind. No filters, no camera crews, no PR teams. Just raw, intimate moments captured in time. For fans, this was shocking, not because they hadn't seen Vaughn and Doll together before, but because of how different it felt. This wasn't the couple making headlines for arguments, rumors, or dramatic Instagram stories. This wasn't the rap game's messy love story. This was something softer, almost fragile. A moment that showed two young people trying to escape the pressure of fame, violence, and constant attention. The internet, of course, split into two camps. One side celebrated the video, calling it a rare treasure, a glimpse into the real Vaughn and Doll that the world never got to fully appreciate. They saw it as proof that beneath the chaos, there was genuine love. This is the Vaughn we miss. Some fans tweeted, carefree, happy, smiling. The other side, however, raised questions. Who leaked this? Why now? Was it respectful to share such a private clip of someone no longer here to defend himself? And what did Asian Doll feel watching the world dissect a piece of her past she may have never wanted public? The mystery deepened the buzz. Speculation spread that the footage had been pulled from an old phone. Others claimed it was part of a private archive meant only for close friends. Some even suggested it was staged, though the rawness of the clip seemed to shut down that theory quickly. But the real power of this leak wasn't in the debate over its source, it was in the emotions it stirred. For Vaughn's fans, who still carry the weight of his loss, the footage felt like a ghost returning for a brief moment, a reminder of what could have been. For Doll's supporters, it was bittersweet proof of a love that continues to haunt her. Music, her image, and her story. And so, the video became more than just a clip. It became a cultural moment, a spark reigniting conversations about legacy, love, privacy, and the blurry line between what belongs to the public and what should remain private. The island escape wasn't just about Vaughn and Doll running away to some hidden paradise. It was about two people escaping everything: the fame, the critics, the chaos of their lives. And now, whether they intended it or not, the world had been invited into that escape. But the biggest question still lingered in the air. Why now? Why, years after Vaughn's passing, would such a clip suddenly surface? Was it an accident, a betrayal, or a carefully timed release designed to stir the pot? That's where the story truly begins. Because what started as a quiet leak soon transformed into a full-blown debate, pulling in fans, media outlets, and even other artists into the conversation. And this was only the beginning. The internet never sleeps, and when a story like this hits, it doesn't just spread, it erupts. Within hours of the island escape leak surfacing, timelines were flooded. Hashtags like #VaughnandDoll, #IslandEscape, and #leaked footage trended globally. It wasn't just hip-hop fans talking. Bloggers, gossip pages, and even mainstream outlets jumped into the frenzy. On Twitter, reactions were divided, but one thing was certain: no one could look away. Fans who had followed King Von's career from the start saw the clip as a rare, almost sacred piece of history. "I've never seen Von smile like that," one fan wrote, attaching a screenshot from the video. "This hurts, but it also heals." Another added, "They look so free here, away from all the madness. This is the Von we should remember." Meanwhile, TikTok turned the footage into a cultural event of its own. Edits flooded For You pages worldwide. Slow-motion cuts of Vaughn and Asian Doll laughing were layered over emotional songs, from drill anthems to soft R&B ballads. Users created tributes, some adding tearful captions about love lost too soon, others focusing on the bittersweet beauty of the moment. The clip became more than content. It became art, but not everyone saw it the same way. A vocal portion of the internet criticized the leak. They argued it was an invasion of privacy, disrespectful to Vaughn's memory, and unfair to Asian Doll, who had no control over this resurfacing. One Twitter thread with thousands of retweets said, "This isn't love, this is exploitation. Let Vaughn rest. Let Doll heal. Doll heal." And then came the debates. Fans clashed in the comments. Was this truly an invasion of privacy or a gift to the culture? Was it okay to share these moments when one half of the couple could no longer consent? Some argued that Vaughn's legacy deserved to be preserved in all forms, even through leaked clips. Others demanded that the footage be taken down immediately, calling it clout chasing at its worst. The noise grew louder when media outlets picked it up. Hip-hop blogs like Academics, Seichi's TV, and Hot New Hip Hop dropped headlines almost instantly. King Von and Asian Doll's Secret Island getaway footage surfaces online. Fans torn over leaked Von and Doll video tribute or exploitation. The internet reacts to rare King Von moments caught on camera. Each headline fueled more clicks, more comments, and more division. YouTube channels dedicated to rap culture uploaded breakdowns of the video, some analyzing every second like detectives searching for hidden meaning. One creator paused the footage to highlight Vaughn's smile, claiming it showed a side of him the streets never let us see. Another speculated about the timeline, asking if this was filmed before a major tour or during a quiet escape no one knew about. Asian Doll's own fans were caught in the middle. Some defended her fiercely, saying she shouldn't have to relive private moments being dragged into the spotlight. Others celebrated the leak, believing it confirmed the authenticity of her love for Vaughn, something she has often been questioned about. The hip-hop community itself reacted with a mix of silence and whispers. While some artists avoided the subject altogether, a few chimed in subtly. A Chicago rapper tweeted, "Vaughn was happy. That's all that matters. Respect it." Another posted cryptically, "The streets don't need to see everything. Let the legends rest." These vague statements only added to the speculation, leaving fans wondering who really knew the backstory behind the clip. Behind the noise, one thing became clear. This leak wasn't going away anytime soon. The internet had already consumed it, remixed it, and immortalized it. Whether Asian Doll wanted it or not, the clip had become a permanent part of King Von's digital legacy. But there was another layer that kept fueling the fire, the mystery of the source. Where did this footage come from? Some fans believed it had been stolen from a hacked iCloud or old device. Others thought it came from someone within Von's inner circle, maybe a friend who decided to release it for attention. Darker theory claimed it was intentionally dropped by someone connected to industry politics, using Von's name to stir headlines and profit off the buzz. The truth remained unknown, but the speculation only amplified the intrigue. Conspiracy videos on YouTube began linking the leak to other events, suggesting that timing was everything. Why had it surfaced now, years after Von's passing, at a moment when drill music was again under the spotlight? Was this truly a coincidence, or part of a larger strategy? Meanwhile, for Von's fans, the emotional toll was undeniable. The comments across platforms painted the picture. People grieving again, reopening wounds, but also feeling grateful for a glimpse of their idol in a rare state of joy. "It's like seeing him alive again," one fan wrote on Instagram. "But it hurts because we know how it ends." The footage had turned into something bigger than a leak. It was no longer just about Vaughn and Dahl. It had become a conversation about privacy, legacy, and the price of fame. What should the public have access to? How much of an artist's personal life belongs to the fans? And when tragedy strikes, does the line between tribute and exploitation blur completely? These questions lingered as the debate raged on, leaving no clear answers. But one thing was certain. This island escape clip had shifted the narrative. It wasn't just gossip. It wasn't just content. It was a moment that reignited King Von's presence in the culture and reminded the world of the complicated, unforgettable bond he shared with Asian Doll. And as more eyes locked onto the footage, another question began to rise. Was this really the only clip? Or was there more out there waiting to surface? The deeper the clip spread, the more theories emerged. And in the world of hip-hop, theories aren't just background noise. They become a part of the culture itself. Fans don't just consume content. They dissect it, analyze it, and build entire narratives around what they see. So, when it came to the island escape leak, everyone wanted answers. Who released it? Why now? And what did it mean? Some believe the footage had been sitting in a forgotten phone or private hard drive for years, accidentally stumbled upon and uploaded by someone close to Von's circle. A former associate, perhaps, or a friend who didn't realize how much chaos it would create. Others lean toward a darker theory that the leak was deliberate, timed carefully to stir controversy and bring attention back to Von's name, just when drill music was resurging in mainstream conversations. On YouTube, entire channels dedicated to hip-hop conspiracies created 20-minute breakdowns, speculating on the source. One creator slowed the video down frame by frame, pointing out details like the hotel decor, the background sounds, even the style of phone camera, trying to pinpoint when and where it was filmed. Another claimed the clip was from a private trip Vaughn and Asian Doll took just months before his passing, suggesting that the timing of the leak wasn't coincidence at all. It was meant to reopen old wounds and reignite discussions around Von's legacy. For fans, these theories were both fascinating and painful. It feels like they're playing with Von's memory, one user wrote. We're out here analyzing every second of a video that should have stayed private. But I can't lie, I can't stop watching it either. That contradiction. The mix of guilt and fascination is what made the leak so powerful. It was like holding something forbidden, but too meaningful to let go. Asian Doll, meanwhile, became the unspoken centerpiece of the storm. While she didn't release an immediate statement, her silence only fueled speculation. Supporters said she was probably hurting, forced to relive moments she'd buried. Critics accused her of secretly supporting the leak for attention, pointing to her history of using Von's name to stay in the headlines. Whether fair or not, the scrutiny on her was intense. And that's the tragic truth about moments like these. The people left behind are often forced to carry the weight of the narrative, even when they never asked for it. For Asian Doll, the resurfacing of this video wasn't just about Von's legacy. It was about her own story being pulled apart, analyzed, and judged by millions of strangers. But beyond the gossip and personal drama, the leak opened up a bigger cultural debate about privacy and legacy in hip-hop. When an artist passes, what belongs to the fans and what remains sacred? For decades, we've seen posthumous albums, unreleased tracks, and hidden footage turned into public products. Tupac's vault of unreleased songs became an entire second career after his death. Pop Smoke's unreleased material filled multiple albums. Juice WRLD's freestyles, demos, and personal videos still surface online, sparking waves of emotion each time. But there's a difference between planned releases and accidental leaks. A posthumous album curated by a label or family feels like a tribute. A grainy, private clip suddenly appearing online feels more like a breach. And that line between tribute and exploitation is where fans and critics clashed hardest over the island escape. Supporters argued that Vaughn would have wanted people to see him happy, relaxed, and free. "This is the side of him the industry never let us see," one fan tweeted. "Why hide it? Let the world celebrate it." But opponents fired back. He didn't get to choose. That's the problem. We're watching something without his consent, and that's not respect. The cultural impact was undeniable. Overnight, Vaughn's name was everywhere again. Music streams rose, TikTok edits boosted his songs back into trending lists, and debates about drill culture and legacy resurfaced. The leak had unintentionally reignited Vaughn's presence in the culture, even if it came at the cost of crossing ethical boundaries. And then came the ripple effect. If this clip could leak, what else might exist? Was this the only piece of private footage, or just the beginning? The thought excited fans, but terrified those close to Vaughn. Because if one clip made the world spiral into chaos, imagine what multiple unseen videos could do. What this revealed, more than anything, was the hunger the culture has for moments of authenticity. In a world where rappers are often filtered through PR teams, stylized Instagram posts, and polished music videos, the rawness of Vaughn and Doll laughing on a beach felt priceless. Fans weren't watching just a leak, they were watching too. Human beings stripped of the industry, stripped of the drama, just existing. And that human side, ironically, was what made Vaughn a legend in the first place. But as the debates raged, another layer emerged: the pain. For fans, the leak reopened grief. Seeing Vaughn so alive, so present, felt beautiful. But it also forced them to relive the loss. "It's like he's here again, and then gone all over," one fan commented. "I don't know if I should smile or cry." This emotional tug-of-war between joy and sorrow, curiosity and guilt, respect and exploitation is what turned the island escape into more than just another viral moment. It became a cultural mirror, reflecting not just Vaughn and Doll's story, but the complicated relationship fans have with their idols. We want closeness, we want truth. But sometimes that truth comes at a cost we don't want to admit. And as the internet continued to replay the footage, one thing became clear. The conversation was far from over. Because if the world was already divided over one leaked video, what would happen if more surfaced? And more importantly, could anyone stop it if they did? Weeks after the island escape leak, the dust hadn't settled. If anything, it kept spreading. Unlike most viral moments that disappear in days, this one lingered. Fans kept reposting it, media outlets kept referencing it, and conversations kept circling back to the same question: what does this mean for King Von's legacy? Legacy is a heavy word in hip-hop. For an artist like Vaughn, whose life was cut short at the very peak of his rise, the idea of legacy is even heavier. He left behind albums, interviews, freestyles, and stories that cemented him as one of drill's most authentic voices. But the leak added something unexpected to that legacy: a softer, more human side. For years, Vaughn had been painted by outsiders as just another street rapper caught in violence. But the island escape footage challenged that narrative. Fans didn't just see a tough street figure. They saw a young man smiling, free, in love, and alive. And that image changed the way people remembered him. Blogs wrote think pieces, titled "The Vaughn We Didn't Know" and "Beyond Drill: The Human Side of King Vaughn." Suddenly, the conversation wasn't only about his street credibility, it was about his humanity. For many fans, that was healing. They didn't want Vaughn remembered only for violence or tragedy. They wanted to hold on to the joy, the light, the moments where he looked like someone who had escaped the chaos, even if only briefly. In that sense, the leak gave them something. They didn't know they needed a new memory to cling to. But with every gift comes a cost. For Asian Doll, the long-term impact was more complicated. She had already lived years under the shadow of her connection with Vaughn. Supporters saw her as his ride or die, the one who kept his name alive. Critics accused her of clout chasing, of milking his legacy to boost her own career. The leak intensified both sides. On one hand, it validated her story. For those who doubted the depth of her connection with Vaughn, the footage felt like proof. She wasn't lying, one fan wrote. You can see it in the way they look at each other. That was real. On the other hand, the clip reignited criticism. Every move she made after the leak was scrutinized. If she posted something emotional, people said she was exploiting the moment. If she stayed silent, people accused her of being cold. She couldn't win either way. Still, the footage gave her a rare position in the culture. Love her or hate her, she became the keeper of a story that fans couldn't stop talking about. Her interviews, her music, her social media presence, all carried a new weight. Because everyone knew she was one of the few people who truly understood the context of that leak. The impact didn't stop with them. The Island Escape clip reignited conversations about the industry's relationship with privacy. Hip-hop has always thrived on storytelling, but as technology evolves, the line between public art and private life keeps blurring. With Vaughn's leak, the industry was forced to ask uncomfortable questions. How much do we deserve to see? Who controls an artist's image after they're gone? And should private archives ever remain untouched, even when the demand is massive? For fans, the leak also highlighted their own contradictions. They wanted authenticity, they craved rawness, but they also understood, at least subconsciously, that what they were consuming wasn't meant for them. That tension became part of the experience. Watching the video wasn't just entertainment, it was a mix of guilt, longing, and curiosity. And that emotional complexity made the footage even more powerful in the long term. Leaks like this also shift how hip-hop's history is documented. Traditionally, an artist's legacy was built on albums, live performances, and official interviews. But now, in the age of digital leaks and viral content, private moments can shape history just as much as official work. The Island Escape became part of Vaughn's story, not because he chose it, but because the internet decided it belonged there. And while that may feel unfair, it also reflects the reality of modern fame. Once you're in the spotlight, your story is never entirely your own. Fans, media, and even strangers with old footage can rewrite the narrative at any moment. Vaughn's leak wasn't the first, and it won't be the last. But it forced the culture to reckon with the consequences of consuming every piece of an artist's life, even those they didn't mean to share. In the months following the leak, Vaughn's music streams saw a noticeable spike. Songs climbed charts again, TikTok edits pushed his verses into new generations, and tribute videos multiplied. The Island Escape didn't just revive conversation, it revived his presence in hip-hop. For many, it felt like Vaughn had been brought back into the conversation of legends, not just for his music, but for the human connection fans felt through the leak. For Asian Doll, the road ahead was more complicated. She had to decide how to carry the weight of this new spotlight, whether to address the leak directly, ignore it, or use it as fuel for her own projects. Either way, she was once again tied inseparably to Vaughn in the public eye, a role she might never fully escape. And for hip-hop culture, the lesson was sobering. The Island Escape was more than just a viral video. It was a reminder of how fragile the line between love, loss, and legacy really is. It showed how a few seconds of grainy footage could spark debates about privacy, ignite grief all over again, and reshape the way an artist is remembered. In the end, the leak wasn't just about Vaughn and Doll. It was about us, the fans, and the culture that consumes every detail of its icons. It forced us to ask, do we truly honor our legends when we share their most private moments? Or are we in our hunger for closeness, guilty of taking too much? Those questions may never have clear answers. But one thing is undeniable: the island. Escape became part of King Von's story forever. And whether loved or hated, celebrated or criticized, it ensured that his name and his humanity would not be forgotten. The island escape leak started as a whisper, grew into a storm, and finally settled into something much bigger than just a viral video. It became a moment frozen in time, one that reminded us why we fall in love with hip-hop culture in the first place. Not just because of the beats, the lyrics, or the fame, but because of the humanity inside the music. When fans replayed that footage of King Von and Asian Doll, what they saw wasn't just two celebrities. They saw vulnerability, they saw love, they saw escape, and maybe, deep down, they saw a reflection of their own desire to run away from the weight of the world and just exist, even for a few seconds without judgment. But here's the truth: hip-hop doesn't just belong to the artists, it belongs to the culture. Every leaked clip, every unreleased track, every rumor and headline gets absorbed into the larger story we tell about our icons. Sometimes it feels unfair, sometimes it feels wrong, but it's also the reason why artists like Von never truly leave us. Their energy keeps moving, keeps breathing, keeps pulsing through the internet, through playlists, through conversations, through us, and that's where the power of legacy really lies. King Von's story wasn't finished the day he left us. It continues every time someone presses play on his music, every time fans argue about his impact, and yes, even every time a leaked clip stirs up emotions we thought we had already buried. For Asian Doll, this chapter will always be complicated. She carries the dual weight of love and scrutiny, of being celebrated and criticized at the same time. But one thing remains undeniable: her connection with Von, whatever people choose to call it, was real enough to move an entire culture years later. And that's not something that can be faked. So what do we take away from the island escape? Maybe it's that behind every headline, every bar, every viral clip, there are human beings trying to live their lives. Maybe it's that the stories we think we know are always more complex than they appear. Or maybe it's just that the moments we weren't supposed to see sometimes reveal the most truth. And as we close this breakdown, here's the bigger question: what comes next? One 30-second clip can send shockwaves through the culture. Imagine. What else is out there, unseen, unheard, waiting in someone's phone, waiting in someone's memory? Hip-hop's history isn't written in stone. It's alive, breathing, and constantly being rewritten. That's why here at Rap Shock, we dig deeper. We don't just tell the stories you've already heard. We uncover the hidden layers, the twists, the drama, and the truths that others overlook. Because hip-hop isn't just music, it's legacy, it's culture, it's shock, pain, joy, and survival, all wrapped into one. And every time you join us here, you're not just watching a video, you're becoming part of that culture. So if this story moved you, if the island escape stirred something inside you, then stick with us. Subscribe to Rap Shock, because what you've just seen is only the beginning. We've got more stories, more breakdowns, and more cultural moments to bring to light. King Von's legacy lives on. Asian Doll's story continues. And hip-hop, it never stops evolving. The island escape may have been leaked by accident, but here at Rap Shock, nothing is accidental. Every detail matters. Every moment tells a story. And every story deserves to be told the right way. So hit that subscribe button, join the conversation. Because tomorrow's leak, tomorrow's drama, tomorrow's cultural shock, we'll be right here breaking it down, piece by piece, just. For you, this is Rap Shock, where the music lives, where the culture speaks, and where the stories never die.